All right. So, welcome everyone. Today we have a lot to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about arriving on Saturday, August 29th. I have some important reminders for you, including our arrival form, orientation, and uploading your photo to your student ID. We'll also talk about a couple of important things we want you to understand before you get here, such as billing, and what FERPA is. We'll very briefly talk about textbooks and a couple of ways to help you get ready for your classes, which start on Wednesday, September 9th. And then we'll also talk a little bit about some new F1 regulations that we want you to be aware of. And then we hope that by the end, we do have some time for Q&A. So before we really get started with the agenda, though, I am going to ask that Sophie take over for just a few minutes. Sophie, are you here this morning?
I'm here. Hello,
Great.
everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Sophia. Some of you may know me. I'm the international admissions intern here. And I just have a really quick announcement. I'll be sticking around the call to help with Q&A, but with talking about Q&A, I know that sometimes these meetings can be a little like overwhelming sometimes, which is totally normal. There's a lot of information and sometimes you feel like you can't gather it all. And when I was in your shoes, I would come out of these, you know, calls with more questions that I could ask. So what we're organizing is a Q&A only session that's actually happening tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Time. So I have emailed you, John has emailed you, we've emailed you through international admissions. So it should be in your inbox. So it's just gonna be like a little call, a Zoom call, where you can break out in breakout rooms with different people from our ambassadors group, our international ambassadors group, and we will be in different breakout rooms to answer different questions about various parts of what it is like to be here at St. Thomas or in the Twin Cities. So just letting you know that's happening. Tina's kind of already showing you kind of like the breakout sessions. Tina, if you scroll down, you can probably see the rest of them real quick, but you guys have this too. It's been emailed to you. So check it out, have a look, kind of be like, oh, this is like an interesting breakout room I'd like to ask. Just know you don't have to pick one. You can hop between them. And there will be ambassadors and myself and also admissions in officers that will be there for you to help you. So yeah, just letting you know that's happening. And yeah, we can proceed. There's just like introductions of the international ambassadors that will be there. So it's kind of like a little bit of an intro about themselves and what they do, what they like to do, where they're from, then kind of to get yourselves a little more comfortable with them. And then tomorrow you will get to speak to them, not really face to face quite yet, but closer to face to face. So yeah, it should be on your calendars, like John just said. So if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I can reply while we go. So yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sophie. That was awesome. We're so excited. All right. We are gonna continue on. Oh, sorry, everyone. Having some technical difficulties this morning. We are going to move on with the rest of the content for today's call. So, one thing we want you to be aware of is when you enter the US, if you haven't already, um, a good a good thing to have with you is obviously your passport, but it's also really important that you have your I-20, you have your I-901 receipt, because you'll need to present this to the Customs and Border Patrol officer at the port of entry. And we'll talk about the port of entry as well in the next slide. Sometimes you might be directed to what's called secondary inspection. We just ask that you remain patient. The officers may just have some additional questions for you. And we'll talk about this next point, I think, towards the end of the call, but it's really important that you also download what's called your Form I-94 shortly before you leave the secured CPB area and check it for accuracy. If there's any errors, you can resolve it immediately with a Customs and Border Patrol officer. What you can do is go online and search Form I-94, and then you can click, I think it says Get Most Recent I-94. It'll ask you to fill in your information such as name, birthday, country of citizenship or passport country, and then your passport or your ID number. And then something that you can expect is they may ask you a couple of questions. They might simply just ask you, what's your reason for visiting the US? And of course, you're encouraged to answer truthfully. I'm going to study mechanical engineering at the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul, Minnesota. Um, so, I'm an undergraduate student, bachelor student, something like that. But they might ask you a couple of questions as you enter. Speaking of arrival, we want to encourage you, we want to strongly encourage you that your port of entry be the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. Although it's a smaller international airport, the Customs and Border Patrol officers are really familiar with the surrounding universities, including the University of St. Thomas. And we hope that this just allows for a smoother experience for you with immigration and customs. This is for those of you that haven't booked your flight. But we strongly encourage you to enter at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport if possible. It's not possible for everyone, but we do strongly encourage it. And if admissions counselors or anybody else want to unmute themselves and add anything, please feel free to do that if I missed anything. The other thing that I really, really, really want to encourage you to do is please, please, please fill out the arrival form if you haven't already. If you are arriving on Saturday, August 29th and would like to be picked up at the airport, please fill out the arrival form. I'm asking you to upload or take a screenshot of your flight information so that we know where you're arriving first in the US, what time your flight is, so we can track you just in case there's any delays or cancellations. If you're not arriving on the 29th, I still want you to fill it out because we want to know when you're arriving to campus so that we can help you in any way that we can. So, even if you're not arriving on campus, please fill it out. You can answer the questions. And towards the end, there'll be a place where you're going to upload your itinerary. Okay? And then just please remember the earliest you can move in is Saturday, August 29th. And that's also arrival day. That's the day where we'll have airport pickup. Some of our staff will be picking you up from the airport. And then our international student orientation leaders will be helping you get from the airport to your residence hall. And of course, we have that whole orientation schedule that I've showed you a few times. On that Saturday, August 29th, we have airport pickup. We'll get you settled into your res hall. We'll have the orientation leaders will eat a meal with you. And so we'll help you get settled as much as we can. If there are any questions, you can unmute yourself. You can also ask in the chat, and our staff can try to answer the best we can. Okay, just a few more things for final arrival reminders. You do have to provide a copy of your immunization records to St. Thomas. It's part of the state of Minnesota requirements. We have discussed this in previous pre-arrival calls. We went into a lot of detail in pre-arrival call 3. So if you still don't know what you need to upload for your immunization records, you can go to the links I've sent you in your emails and find pre-arrival call 3. I sent you the slides and the recording of the call. And I may just have Amanda talk about this second one. This is official transcripts.
Yeah, no, I would love to talk about that. Thanks. Many of you have been able to take a test where I can get your official transcripts, whether it's national exam or you were able to send them. If you are somebody, hello Team Vietnam and others who have an official version of your transcript, your final grades from high school that you only have one, you need to bring it with you. I will look at it and I will give it back to you, promise. But we have to have your officials. If you do not bring your official documentation that you finished high school, for community college transfer folks, if you went abroad, bring that as well. Make sure we get the official documentation. If we don't have officials, you're going to get a hold on your account, which prevents you from registering for spring, which is so annoying. And then someone's going to have to mail it to you. And I don't want anyone to have to mail your official documents because that's not very fun. If you're a transfer student, we still need officials from your previous institution. So everyone's a little different for transfer. So if you're not sure, ask your admissions counselor, me, John, or Lou. And then if you did IB, for example, I'm seeing questions in the chat. If you did IB, I got you already. We pulled your scores. already for you. A levels, we're verifying right now. If you're an A level student who just got your exam results yesterday, please send your final results and we can verify them online. But if you're really just not sure, just send us a message. No big deal, but do it before you get on a plane. Or if you're already here, just check. Okay. One other side quest chat. In the group chat right now, in the questions, I put a link for the WhatsApp group. Please join it. I saw that many of you have been doing that. Thank you. We're going to use this a lot during orientation, and it's a chance for you to talk to other incoming students. We have your orientation leaders in there to answer questions. A couple of us will be in there for orientation, and then we will leave. And then it'll just become a student chat that you guys can have and that way you can track people's numbers if people change their numbers. So you should be good otherwise. But just check in the chat. It's right there. And if you don't have WhatsApp, please get it. You're gonna need it. I think that's important. Okay, go ahead, Tina.
Great. Okay, the last thing for this slide, we're we want you to know that there's lots of things you really, really, really should do before you arrive. I mentioned filling out the arrival form, which will make your arrival to campus much easier. The second thing that we really, really, really need you to do is upload your student ID. So if you follow the link here, you can upload a photo, and our plan is to pick up your printed ID cards on Saturday if you're arriving on Saturday. We'll have your ID cards already. We'll give them to you when you arrive because your ID card is really important for life on campus. In many cases, and Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in most cases it's your room card. But in some of the dorms, they still have in some of the residence halls, they still have keys. I don't know if we know which
You
one.
won't be able to enter the building unless you have an
Okay.
ID.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so if you have a specific room with a key, that's separate. But
But yeah, so
yeah.
getting into buildings, you need an ID. Lots of other things you need your ID for. So we're trying to strongly recommend that you upload your photo before you arrive so that on Thursday or Friday, the day before you arrive, our staff can go and pick up your physical cards and have them ready for you. Um, so that's just one important reminder that I want to stress. So, unfortunately, we have a lot of information to cover. I did just want to very briefly just have you see the faces of your international orientation leaders. We have Bao, Taylor, Sarah, and Panache who are super excited to welcome you and help you adjust to life on campus. They are all second year students, so they have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. They're from a variety of majors. They're from a variety of cultural backgrounds. Just given the time constraint we have, we don't have a lot of time to talk about them, but I wanted you to see their photos so that when you get to when you get to the airport or when you get to campus, you know who to look out for to ask questions or help you with whatever you need. And then we also have a couple of other orientation leaders, B, Sophie, and Martin. Sophie, you already met at the beginning of today's call, but these again are going to be some of those friendly faces. They're going to help you with almost whatever you need when you get to campus. They're students, so our staff can help as much as we can, but sometimes we don't have the same inside knowledge as a student, and these are the friendly faces that can help you. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to remind you of as well is that we have International Student Orientation running from Saturday, August 29th to Wednesday, September 2nd. You can view the entire International Student Orientation schedule at this link. I have gotten a couple of emails, and the emails say, Tina, do I really have to attend every activity? Yeah, you really should. There are a couple of required sessions that you must attend. One of those is on Monday, August 31st from 3 to 4:30 p.m. We're doing the required immigration orientation session. You must attend that session. It's in person, but view the whole schedule because we've talked about this in the past, but each day has quite a bunch of activities to help you get adjusted to life on campus and to life at St. Thomas in the US. Just very briefly, Saturday really is designated for move-in day. We will have some welcome activities and we will have a meal together, but Saturday is a bit more low key because you're probably going to be really tired, and that's okay. Sunday is super busy. Sunday, we will have you check in with one of our international student advisors. So you'll need to have your passport, your visa, and your I-20, and we'll do an official immigration check-in. On Sunday, we'll also go to Target. So if you're not familiar with Target, it's a department store here where you can buy almost everything that you need. We'll have a big bus that will take you to Target with the orientation leaders. Sunday has a lot of other activities. A campus tour will obviously feed you and get you lunch. But then Monday is also really important. If you don't have a bank account in the US, we'll have representatives from US Bank help you set up a US bank account. We'll also have representatives from T-Mobile help you set up a phone plan if you're interested. But also on Monday, we have a huge group of campus partners who are going to come together and welcome you to campus. We have people from campus ministry. We have individuals from the business office. We have all different kinds of campus partners that are coming to help answer your questions, to help get you settled. So if you have questions about the schedule, please reach out to me, but also please remember Saturday, August 29th to Wednesday, September 2nd. Again, if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to send me an email. You can also type in the chat, and members of our staff can answer those as well. Okay, so one thing that you're probably wondering is, well, I'm starting classes on September 9th. Where do I get my course materials? And I might have others talk about this, especially if Sophie is still here. Sophie, are you still here?
Yep, I'm still here.
Perfect. So I'll have you talk in just a second, but actually, Sophie, do you want to talk about textbooks? Is that okay to put you on the spot?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that'd be great.
So textbooks kind of work a little different for every class that you have. So some classes require textbooks, some classes don't. So a good rule of thumb that I like to do is send a little intro email to your professor saying like, "Hey, my name is, I will be studying in your class," and mention the course name and say, "Do you require textbooks? If so, which ones?" And there you can find it on the website of the library. If you look up textbook anywhere, like on one St. Thomas, like you will get access to the link. And basically, you select your term, you select your course ID, and it will say required textbooks. Just know that if you just go on the website, it will list every textbook that it says you must have. But it's a good check to check with your professors because some professors will have it listed because like they might use it, but they'll say like, "Oh, we don't actually need it," you know? So just check with your professors because they know what they want to get done in the semester and what they need to get that done. So just know like that is what you have to do. You just have to go on the textbooks link that you can find pretty much anywhere. If you struggle, ask any of the orientation leaders, like we will help you find it. But yeah, navigating one St. Thomas is also a good skill that you can start looking into. Just look up one St. Thomas and just kind of navigate it, scout it. You will find a lot of important information there. So yeah, don't know if I miss anything else.
No, that's great.
Okay,
Um,
wonderful.
of course, you can use the this link here to select your textbooks, but like Sophie said, you could also check in with your professors to see, which courses are required. We also talked about something called Canvas at our previous pre-revel calls. When you log into Canvas, you'll see the list of all of your courses, and oftentimes they upload the syllabi, your syllabus for each course, and they should be listing materials that are required. Sometimes it'll say required, sometimes it'll say supplemental or not required, and so we just want to help you get settled for the first day of class. Okay. So a lot of questions we're going to get is about your tuition and billing and how to pay. So later on, when I send you these slides, it'll be great if you could just open this up. It's a big, scary document. I completely understand it can be overwhelming, but it has a lot of good information about how to access the e-bill system, how to understand student-related account policies, and the most important thing I think for many of you is this last part here, how to set up parents and other authorized users so that your parents or your sponsors, whoever it is, can make payments to your student account on your behalf. You have to set them up, you have to give them access. But this guide called Understanding Billing, it goes through everything that you need to know. The other good news is that we will have somebody from the business office at our resource fair on Monday. So if you just still don't quite understand what to do, this will be a good resource for you to get started. Here's just a really quick overview of how to add an authorized user to your account. So if you're adding your one of your parents, grandparents, so maybe one of your sponsors, this is a way to add them as an authorized user so that they can make payments on your behalf. And again, I took this right from the billing guide. And I'll be sending you this information later today, so you can also download the slides and have the information easily and readily accessible to you. Okay, so something that I think might be different between your home country and the US is that universities in the US cannot disclose personal information to a third party about a student without the student's written consent. And in the US, parents, guardians, grandparents, etc., they are all considered third parties. So your mom or your dad or your grandpa can't call and say, "How is Sally doing in math class?" They're just not allowed to give that information. However, if you would like your sponsor, your guardian, your parent to have the ability to communicate with any of these offices on campus or any information regarding your student account, you have to give them permission. You have to give permission that they can reach out on your behalf. And this can all be done online. You can access this information. There's a link at the bottom. You can click on that and it'll have more information. I don't know if Amanda, if you want to add anything. If not, don't worry. In case I forgot something. Maybe not.
Oh, good.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so the other thing I think is really important is that in the coming days and weeks, I made a typo. I'm so sorry. In the coming days and weeks, there'll be a lot of information shared on social media about activities that are happening when you arrive. The University of St. Thomas Instagram is a fantastic resource. Residence Life Instagram is also a fantastic resource because they post about events and Residence Life updates. You can also follow the St. Thomas class of 2030, not 2029, I'm so sorry, where you'll be able to see other students that are going to be in your cohort. And then, of course, the office WhatsApp will be very, very important to you for arrival day. So if you, like Amanda said earlier, if you don't have WhatsApp, please download it. And the office WhatsApp will be a number that we'll be using quite a bit for arrival day. And the other thing that I wanted to mention about WhatsApp is if you're arriving to St. Thomas on the 29th, if you're participating in airport pickup, we'll be having WhatsApp groups, which we'll be trying to coordinate when you arrive and where you are, and so that you can help find us. And so that's why another reason why we think WhatsApp will be really important to you. Okay, I don't have the picture for the WhatsApp group. I'm so sorry, but I think Amanda, did you share it in the chat? Is that right?
Just shared it again. Yep.
Perfect. So you can go to and when I send out the slides later, I'll update this slide. So you'll be able to have access to the QR code for the WhatsApp group. Okay, so just a couple of things that I wanted to remind you of. Saturday, August 29th is arrival day. Please make sure that you sign up for airport pickup. The deadline, though, is August 21st, 2026, because I need a couple of days to put all of your information into one big, scary spreadsheet so that we all have access to where you're arriving, when you're arriving, what's your contact information, and things like that. If for some reason you missed the deadline or if something changed, you can always reach out to me personally, but the survey will close on August 21st. Okay. And also, please remember, we'll offer airport pickup from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. only. If you are arriving outside of those hours for whatever reason, you'll be receiving an email from me with further instructions. And then, of course, Wednesday, September 29th, classes begin. So we're really excited. Does anybody have any questions? We're not done yet, but if anybody has any questions about anything I just spoke about,